Welcome to my world. Come on in and make yourselves at home. Welcome to my life. I know everything's gonna be all right. Welcome to my world. Oh, won't you come on in? Welcome to my life. It's known as the Tiger's Den. Greetings to all of my subscribers. I want to thank you for being with me for as long as you have, and the new subscribers that's coming on in. We want to say greetings and thank you for your time. This is from Toothless and the moderators. Welcome to the Tiger's Den. This is the voice of Cheryl, and I am Toothless Tiger, bringing you a true story. I kind of let my music play a little bit if anybody is new, because I don't have many people that come in. Then I decided it doesn't matter. There's a thing called replay or playback. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. And what amazes me, I have spurts of times when people subscribe to my channel. And some say that people don't stay in your channel because you're not entertaining, you're not interesting. Well, I didn't get on here for the purposes at most, I guess. I got on here because I was inspired and I wanted to share my life, my experiences, and my knowledge. That's basically why I came to YouTube. I was inspired. And then I learned that it's a lot of trickery and a lot of game and a lot of cliques. They call them sectors. And I'm not familiar with the game. And I'm 65 years old. And of course, age means nothing in the metaverse. So what I've seen is what they've done is took us from television and brought us into the metaverse, where you make up the rules, but the rules are still the same. They're not fair. And that's okay. That's okay. I was taught by my mom to never envy anyone for what they have, because you may not be willing to pay the price that they're willing to pay. I found that to be true. I'm not willing to be on YouTube making videos all day, every day. So I can't get angry at the people that do that. And if they're successful, I'm happy for them. What I can do is do what I came here to do. And I'm going to give you me, and I am who I say I am. These are my opinions, not YouTube's or no one else's. I just come from my train of thought. I'm not an attorney. I don't practice law, but I study it. In my profession, I worked for a government agency, and I was a revenue officer for the IRS. In my job, I had to learn a lot of different things. Investigation, a little accounting, a little law, writing. The good thing for me is that I came there with those skill sets, so it was not hard for me to do my job. One thing I know that most people, not all, when they hear the 3 letters of any alphabet company, normally fear is behind it. And I had a badge, and I could do what I needed to do to enforce the tax law. Be it garnish your wages, take your home, whatever I needed to do. But I found if you educate people, that's how I got collected money. It wasn't because I was seizing people property. It wasn't because I was yielding my power over them. It was because I would educate them, because I know I worked for the IRS, and whenever I got a letter in the mail from the IRS, my stomach would drop because my paycheck came from the Department of Agriculture. So I felt just as afraid as anybody else that fear the IRS. Didn't know why they would be writing me. Everything we needed to know about our job came on the intranet, and we could do it online, or they would send it to us online. So when you get a letter, your heart kind of skips a beat, and you know you've done nothing wrong. It's kind of been that way for us as a people our entire lives. And what's going on today to me is just really sad. I started covering this Young Thug trial, I guess it was maybe about late February, early March. And I was covering Fonnie Willis before then and her saga with the Donald Trump trial. And then, of course, someone I was looking at was talking about the Young Thug trial. So I started looking, and when I saw his face, I don't know Young Thug. I love rap music, but I'm more of, I was a Mo 3 fan. Most definitely, that's my favorite rapper. And I listened to the Migos and different ones. And I've heard a couple of Young Thug songs. I've never purchased any. But I just like the beats. I don't like the words, but they sound good on the beat. And so that's what we do. We rock to the beat and say the words. Parents and all. So what you do is you teach your children the truth. And then you allow them to make decisions. Hopefully good ones. Sometimes not so good. But, you know, there's been a war on us all of our lives. Most of us think it's because of discrimination, racism, but there's only one race, and that's the human race. We don't know who we are, and we don't want to learn. When you try to share it with people, I went on a journey some 12 years ago, wanting to know who were we before we were called slaves. And what I found out blew my mind. It took me to a lot of places within my mind. But it freed me of ignorance and craziness. And it allows me to be on this live stream with myself and another person, and to continue to go. I came to share. I also saw it as a second stream of income. That's not working out too good, but I was told if you do something that you love, that you would do for free, then the money will come. And perhaps that will happen. And maybe not. But I gotta do what I gotta do. And what I gotta do is talk about what's happening with the Young Thug trial. I see it as a war on our sons. When I saw his face, I don't know him, but he seems like a humble young man. And I'm not saying that those guys haven't committed crimes, because they have records. They do. Some of them are convicted felons. Young Thug is not. Doesn't mean he didn't have problems or trouble, but he did what he needed to do, and he was not a convicted felon. For the state of Georgia to be doing what they're doing to these young men is really a miscarriage of justice. I thought that we would, being that we can get on YouTube and, share with the world, I thought we as a people would be more apt to tell the things that's going on, in our cities or wherever it is in the world, but be able to talk to our people, because so many times we don't get news. We don't get truth. So I thought that's what this was all about. But I soon found out, no, I was in the way of most people. I have an inquisitive mind. So I do a lot of research and a lot of reading. And when you discover things and you share it with people that you think that, you're friends through YouTube, you come to find out, no, you're uncovering their scam, their gimmick, their money-making thing. And they don't want to be a part of you. Took me by surprise, but I learned the lesson. So I support whoever I want to now. And that's dwindling down. I mean, really dwindling down. I don't know really how to speak in people's chats because, you say one thing, you may piss off the chat. You say another thing, you may piss off the host. My chat, as long as you're respectful, you can say what you like. Whether we agree or not, I would like to agree. But if we don't agree, I don't agree to disagree. I just disagree. And we can move forward. We don't have to spend no time, no breath. I am disabled. And I don't have breath to give to try to get you to see things my way. That's not my job. All I can do is, if I have something to share, is to share the knowledge. And then hope that you would do like me, be inquisitive, and go seek for yourself the truth of the knowledge. But I'm really disheartened by the things that I'm seeing, the things that I'm hearing. And again, I begrudge no one for what they're doing. But it's like everybody is capitalizing and making money off of these people's pain. Now, I don't know. This looks like their bodies. Tuck them into bed at night and tell them that everything will be all right when they wake up in the morning. This public demand is incredible. So the human god, the politician, meets incredibility with incredibility by promising the world and delivering nothing. So, who is the bigger liar? The public or the Godfather? This public behavior is surrender born of fear, laziness, and expediency. It is the basis of the welfare state and a strategic weapon useful against a disgusting public. Action, offense. Most people want to be able to subdue and or kill other human beings which disturb their daily lives. But they do not want to have to cope with the moral and religious issues which such as an overt act on their part might raise. Therefore, they assign the dirty work to others, including their own children, so as to keep the blood off their hands. They rave about the humane treatment of animals and then sit down to a delicious hamburger from a whitewashed slaughterhouse down the street and out of sight. But even more hypocritical, they pay taxes to finance a professional association of hitmen collectively called politicians and then complain about corruption in government. Responsibility. Again, most people want to be free to do the things, parentheses, to explore, etc., but they are afraid to fail. The fear of failure is manifested in irresponsibility, and especially in delegating those personal responsibilities to others where success is uncertain or carries possible or created liabilities, parentheses, law, which the person is not prepared to accept. They want authority, root word author, but they will not accept responsibility or liability. So they hire politicians to face reality for them. Summary. The people hire the politicians so that the people can, number one, obtain security without managing it. Number two, obtain action without thinking about it. Number three, inflict theft, injury, and unaliving upon others without having to contemplate either life or death. Number four, avoid responsibility for their own intentions. Number five, obtain the benefits of reality and science without exerting themselves in the discipline of facing or learning either of these things. They give the politicians the power to create and manage a war machine. Number one, provide for the survival of the nation/womb. Number two, prevent encroachment of anything upon the nation/womb. Number three, destroy the enemy who threatens the nation/womb. Number four, destroy those citizens of their own country who do not conform for the sake of stability of the nation and womb. Politicians hold many quasi-military jobs, the lowest being the police, which are soldiers, the attorneys and CPAs next, who are spies and saboteurs licensed, and the judges who shout orders and run the closed union military shop for whatever the market will bear. The generals are industrialists. The presidential level of commander-in-chief is shared by the international bankers. The people know that they have created this farce and financed it with their own taxes, consent, but they would rather knuckle under than be the hypocrite. Thus, a nation becomes divided into two very distinct parts: a docile sub-nation, great silent majority, and a political sub-nation. The political sub-nation remains attached to the docile sub-nation, tolerates it, and leaches its substance until it grows strong enough to detach itself and then devour its parent. The general rule is that there is a profit in confusion. The more confusion, the more profit. Therefore, the best approach is to create problems and then offer solutions. So the diversion summary is: media. Keep the adult public attention diverted away from the real social issues and captivated by matters of no real importance. Schools. Keep the young public ignorant of real mathematics, real economics, real law, and real history. Entertainment. Keep the public entertainment below a 6th grade level. Work. Keep the public busy, 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 with no time to think. Back on the farm with the other animals. This is a system that's in place. This book was written in 1954. And it rings true today. But we say that if we get an opportunity to get in office, we're going to change the way they treat our children. We're going to change the way our people don't make money. We're going to change those things. We're going to make it so that we can live anywhere we want to, even though we're supposed to have that opportunity right now today. But we're still redlined by our zip codes. We're still redlined. We still have problems getting insurance at a rate that we can live. And that's health insurance, homeowners insurance, if you're lucky enough to own a home, renter's insurance, auto insurance, life insurance. Look at all of those different insurances. And most of the time, you spend your entire adult life paying premiums. And hopefully you don't have to use them. But if by chance something should happen and you need either one, then you have to go through a plethora of questions to keep from paying you. When they only asked you 2 questions for you to join and for them to approve you. But if you need the benefit, you got to almost go through a physical. You definitely got to answer all kind of questions under penalty of perjury. They go back in the database and they can go back and see if you've been sick, if what you've gone to the doctor for. All kind of stuff. You know, most of us don't even know our blood types. There's a reason for that. Now, the majority of the world know their blood types. Unfortunately, ours is hidden from us. And today, you can't even ask your doctor to do a blood type test without it costing you thousands of dollars. They won't do it just because you want or need to know. Even if you have to have surgery, they don't tell you. That's how we must know. It's got to be something great about us, that we're treated the way we're treated. We've learned to mistreat each other, and we refuse to learn who we are and do something different. That's scary. That's awfully scary. Regina, oh boy, this past holiday weekend, I messed around and answered a political viewpoint from an intoxicated person, and I had to catch myself and stop. When I found they were loud and wrong, I walked away. You have to do that. Phyllis said, Toothless, speak. We know somebody is listening. I love the numbers that are here, one way or the other. I do too, Phyllis. I do too. So then we want to go back and just take a look at something. I made this chart a while back. Again, it never changes for us. And unfortunately, we won't do anything to help change it. Poverty. And this is statistics for the people that call themselves black. The criminal justice system. 465,200. Education, 5.6% dropout rates. Employment. 6.3 million unemployment claims, 2.4. Housing, 48%. Healthcare, 10.4% without insurance. Now they claim we only make up 13% of this country. Politics, 62% registered to vote. And what I'd like to ask people, do you know why you vote? And then do you know the importance of a vote? Your most important vote is your local vote. Your district attorney, your district clerk, your county clerk, your mayor, the commissioners that sit on the board that runs the county. The sheriff. These are the important offices. Your state representatives, your state senators. Do you know who is in your district? Do you know what they stand for? Do you know how they vote if they've been there for a minute? Do they ever support any of your ideas? That's a question that you want to ask yourself as you go to the polls and vote. Because those are the things that will help you not be in the condition that these young men find themselves in. You know, I was doing some research. One thing that Young Thug father, Big Jeff, said is that Georgia's not a gang state and they don't have an attorney that you can look up on Google or the phone book that are gang attorneys. And you know, I thought about that when he said that, and you know, I didn't even know nothing about gang attorneys. Because what we pretty much know as gang states, we would say is California, Illinois, Michigan, Florida, Louisiana. Now we do know that these places only have one or two cities that, you know, have these problems, but those are the states that we know that are gang states. So I just kind of asked Google about gang attorneys, and sure enough, I saw some in California and in Florida. So this gang thing, Bonnie Willis ran on gangs, and Adrian Love, who is her deputy assistant district attorney, she actually ran for district attorney in another town, but she did not win. So she went to work for Bonnie Willis, and she made her deputy chief assistant district attorney. Well, that lady's not satisfied with assistant district attorney. She wants to be the district attorney. And so that's why she's doing this case by any means necessary. Everybody has been talking about the infamous transcript that the judge said that he was not going to release. But after Mr. Weinstein filed a mandamus to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, of course, sent it back and told him that you got to go through the process of going through the Superior Court. And they were saying to the Supreme Court that Judge Earl Glanville's office is a place where your emotions go to pass away, to just die out, because he's never going to look at them. Mr. Steele has two that's been in his office for 2 years. and he hasn't taken a look at them or dealt with them. This is really sad what's going on. But everybody's into the antics and how these guys sound when they're on the stand and how funny they are. And the guy, Kenneth Copeland, he's been all over the internet. And I believe that he is guilty of some of the things that he's accused of doing. He's even spent time for him. But I also believe that they're putting a lot of things on him. And perhaps he made it that way. His actions, his behavior. But at what point do one say, okay, I messed up. I want to do something different. What they did to that young man is they forced him to testify. And I've been sharing on IG just little snippets of my readings out of the Georgia Witness Immunities Act. And people have been enjoying it, so I'm glad about that. At least they're watching it. Hopefully they're hearing what's being said. Because as I shared before, there are certain types of immunities. They offered him, of course, the worst one. They offered him the use immunity, which only covers the conversations that he has on the witness stand. But once cross-examined, if they introduce something new that he could be a party to, he could be prosecuted for those things. He could also be prosecuted for anything under the federal statute. Now, one man said that he heard Hilton say that he had federal immunity. I didn't hear him say that or her say that, and perhaps she did. I'm going to go back and listen, but I don't recall hearing her say that. But that's what's in the transcript, he said. The transcript didn't say in exact words the things that Mr. Steele was telling him that he was told was said. But they really kind of, from what was said, you can get an inference of that. So, but they asked for the audio as well because many believe that the transcript was redacted. And there was a lot of off-the-record talking. I don't understand the attorney, Kayla Bumpus. You know, I always thought she was probably no good. But I heard her on her show, and I really felt bad. And I sent her an Instagram to let her know that I misread her. And she sounded very humble. But I really believe that I did not. Now she has a show, and she's had Mr. Copeland on the show. Now the judge has told everybody to don't be on social media, don't talk to anybody about the case. And here he's on social media, on her show, on this guy, another guy's show. It's just amazing to me what's happening. And I don't know if this is all now a big production of Tyler Perry or Mona Scott, or I really don't know what's going on here. They're playing right before our eyes. But then I do understand because they're getting big money. Big donations. So I do understand. But it's just so sad because nobody seems to really be looking at what's really happening here. You have prosecutors lying. And we know that this goes on all the time. We're just not privy to it. To actually sit and watch this stuff, and the only thing you can take away is how funny somebody is on the witness stand. Boy, that's disheartening to me as a mother. As a woman and as a human, that's disheartening. Because I guarantee you, this wouldn't be so funny if it was not your child. If it was your child, I don't think it would be that funny. And I could be wrong, but I doubt it. Okay, let me go back and see. Peter said, Regina M., yes, sometimes we just have to walk away. I know there are always people that others have to answer to. Regina M. say, I have been really looking at things going on in this world and here in the USA. So many have fought for justice and truth, and so many have sacrificed their lives for it. And so many today don't care anything about it, and everything they think is about $1. It is money, 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 money. You better believe it. That's all these people think about. And not that we don't need. Boy, but at what expense? Virginia said the transcript can't tell the entire story of things said because the judge and prosecutors and lawyers had the court reporters step out of the room. Yes, and also at one point they split it up because there is an issue with Miss Love and Mr. Copeland. Something happened to, I believe, his brother, and she had something to do with that prosecution. So they have strained relationship, and she was in the room that morning. She was not in the room with him. See, they were taking turns. Then here is Miss Hilton with him. Now, they knew that he had an attorney because she was there in the room with them. And you're not supposed to speak to an individual outside of the presence of their attorney. And certainly not ask questions. This stuff is so crazy. It defies everything I've ever seen. But I thought the Kayla lady was really humble and everything, and she wants everybody to get along, kumbaya. And I left her, the message in her DM, and she did not respond. Now, on her DM, she says that she usually responds within an hour to all DMs. Then I see her on different people's shows, and I see her saying, oh yeah, I saw that, I responded. And then I know to bow out gracefully. Greg reminds me all the time, discernment. And I really do use discernment. I try to be a good person and give people the benefit. But you always got to put that but. And they say anytime you put that but, you wipe out everything you said before it. But you got to see these people really for who they are. And you just cannot give them grace. The best grace you can give them is to stay away from them. Let them be them and you be you. That's the best grace you can give someone that you see that, you all don't jive. You don't have to say things that are terrible. You don't have to do anything to them. Just let it go and move on. It saddens me. And, that's a real human emotion. So, I can be sad. But I know how to get over it. And then, thing that really kind of bothered me, we're talking about black on black crime by these political gangbangers. These people are doing everything they're accusing these men of doing. I don't know if anybody unaliving anybody, but certainly laundering money. They can't make me believe that they're not. because that ORCA money runs out at the end of the year. And they can't make me believe they're not stretching these cases and coming up with these big RICO cases so that they can't spend the rest of that $75 million, which they may have even gotten more, because I don't look at every last one of their commissioners' meetings. And since the commissioners just blindly give them a check and say that they can't know because they have a constitutional right, it's nowhere I've seen in the Constitution where they can spend money without having an accounting system to account for the money that they give and that they spend, except for in Fulton County. They're able to go to the commissioners with a line item report and say, I need money for this, and this. And then when they give them the money, they say, oh, well, I decided I'm not going to use it over there. I'm going to use it over here. And there's no questions asked, because who knows what they do with their money? They're elected officials. They're constitutional. There's nothing we can do about it. That is crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And then I had to figure, how can they allow this? Then you have to think about words that they talk about in RICO statute. Kickbacks. You know, you just have to use your mind. You don't have to be right. You could be right. You could be wrong. But you go with what makes sense. And it just doesn't make sense to give people millions of dollars. And you know you only work for a certain amount of money. But you're giving away millions of dollars and people are spending it the way they want to. They don't do that for us. And so, you know, if they're getting these millions, imagine what the top is getting. Because they have like over 2 billion, I believe it is, that they received. The 75,000 just went to, million just went to the judiciary. They break it up among all of the state and county agencies. So those good old boys that's been there forever and ever, those how much are they getting? You have to ask yourself these questions. Because it's coming out. And they said black girl magic is what the attorney said. And then she said she's going to have Judge Peterson as her guest. And I just slapped myself upside the head. I just did a thing about Judge Peterson. You know, that's the one that was arrested for the fight. But the arrest is not what was interesting to me. What was interesting to me this section discussed the formal charges and misconduct allegations against Judge Christina J. Peterson, including violations of judicial conduct rules and various episodes of misconduct. Now, when this article was written, and this is a summary of the article done by AI, when the article was written, she had not had the final say from the Georgia Supreme Court. But she has officially been removed immediately. Not immediately. Immediately. She was removed. The Supreme Court did it. This is what she did. The director of the Judicial Qualifications Commission filed formal charges against Judge Christina J. Peterson, alleging 30 counts of misconduct. The charges include violations of the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct, such as improper social media posts, improper contact with represented parties, and obstructing access to public court records. Now, this is pretty much what the judge, I don't know about social media posts, but definitely improper contact with represented parties. Other allegations include abusive interactions with fellow judges and county officials, holding a pro se litigant in contempt. Well, he held an attorney in contempt. And what's so bad about that is when Ashley Merchant came to represent Mr. Steele, she gave him a case law, and it was like 1994. And he asked her, do you have any more current case law? And she said, well, this is the most current because most lawyers are not held in contempt of court. She has some older ones, and then he went and found one that was back in 74. But she put that lady in jail because she was trying to correct the record of her dad on her marriage license once she found her dad. She used her uncle because he reared her as her dad, but when she really met her dad, she wanted to change it and put his name on there. And this lady said she falsified documents and gave false documents and arrested her for contempt of court and put her in jail. Routine backdating of orders and systemic judicial incompetence. The charges were addressed in a full hearing spanning multiple convenings, and the hearing panel has issued a recommendation to the Supreme Court. The director proved violations of judicial conduct rules in relation to the social media posts and the interactions at the Homeowners Association meeting. However, the director did not sufficiently prove the allegations of obstructing access to public records. The hearing panel found that some of the proven misconduct did not warrant disciplinary action due to the lack of bad faith. The panel found that other proven misconduct, such as the interactions with county personnel, constituted willful misconduct in office and was prejudicial to the administration of justice. The section discusses the recommendation to remove Christina J. Peterson from her position as probate judge due to multiple violations of the Code of Judicial Conduct. And she's been going on radio shows, and she's a victim, of course. But she's guilty now, whether she did it or not. It's just like they treat our children. And one question was posed to her, how does she feel now that that happened to her? And this is what they do to us all the time. No empathy, no sympathy, which we know law doesn't have feelings. But they don't hesitate. I know that Judge Glanville did when he told him, take him into custody. He didn't hesitate. He was arrogant, rude. But the Supreme Court humbled him. Even though they didn't handle the mandamus, they sent it back and said he should not be the one making the decisions on whether he should be recused or not. And that changed his whole tone in the manner in which he spoke to Mr. Steele. And one thing I noticed, when you don't have a problem with someone, you don't see them like the other people do. And they don't see them like you do. They'll never feel the pain that you feel, the betrayal, whatever it is that you feel. If it has not happened to them, they don't even empathize. They may show you a little bit, but not much. The section discusses the recommendation to remove Christina J. Peterson from her position as probate judge due to multiple violations of the Code of Judicial Conduct. The author fully agrees with the findings and recommendations of colleagues regarding the removal of Christina J. Peterson as probate judge of Douglas County. The author believes that a suspicion without pay is not a lawful alternative for judicial discipline due to constitutional limitations. A suspicion with pay is seen as a vacation and does not serve as a meaningful penalty or protect the integrity of the judiciary. Richard L. Hyde, Special Concurrence. The Supreme Court has not addressed the question of whether an involuntary suspension without pay violates the Georgia Constitution. The author suggests that the legislature consider amending the Constitution to allow citizens to decide on this matter. Yet the Supreme Court decided, and they decided to let her go immediately. And we're not going to go all the way through the things that she's done, which is bizarre. But this girl said black girl magic, and we women have to stick together. Well, there may be some black magic going on, and maybe that's part of our problem, is we're into black magic and not into reality and what's going on. When these people were voted in office and given an opportunity to represent us, we didn't realize what Silent Weapons was saying, that we're choosing people to do our bidding for us because we're cowardice and we would love to be able to do things, but we don't want anything on our hands, so we allow other people to do it and then complain when they don't do it the way we probably would have done it. But we're losing our children every day. And there has to be an urgency about what's going on with our children and with this judicial system that we see now. We've already felt it. We believed, we knew they were railroading us. We knew that they were doing this. And we know that individually because, again, if it only affects you, then nobody else feel what you feel. And they certainly not going through the experience that you are. And there are so many people that are incarcerated that were forced to take a plea deal, not because they were handed immunity. If you look at the first video that I did covering the immunity, and I may have to go back and put immunity in the name so maybe people can understand it, but it's black on black crime. These political gangbangers, they're committing this crime against us. They keep talking about black on black crime, black on black crime. You know, you offend where you live. Wherever you live, all people do. All you got to do is look at the news. And since the news tell us all a bunch of the same thing at the same time, maybe you need to look at Investigation ID or Court TV or A&E. Maybe, stations that will kind of let you see into the lives of other people. Because on the local news, all we see is the crimes we commit. and the mistreatment that we receive. But trust me, all people get mistreated by the police. They just don't show it to us because it's not sensational. Remember, we have to be stimulated with sensationalism. We have to be entertained. We're not intelligent enough to critically think, to analyze the situation. So it's said, not so it be. That's what they feel about us. And that's how we're treated. No respect. Better say, now I know what it means to just be silent. It's sad we are still divided and as humans and will not stand together. No, we won't do it. It's unbelievable. No, you should do what you say you are going to. This digital media can be dangerous in the wrong hands and when it is intended for no good. We all have to answer to a higher height, meaning a boss has a boss. It's a hard knock life. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. Many people only get involved when they are directly affected. Really, we are all in this together. That is so true. Our skin color makes us low and lower. What's so true is it's them today. It could be you this evening, tomorrow, be any one of us. We got to really start looking at this thing realistically. I don't know how this is going to come out. They have the one judge who it was assigned to because it went to another judge, Belinda Edwards, I believe her name is. I did a video about her too. She had some misconduct going on. There's a lot of misconduct going on in Fulton County. And the saddest part about all of this, Bonnie Willis had to sign off on that bogus immunity deal. That immunity deal was given to that young man not because he was asking for immunity, but because they were forcing him to testify. He told them he wanted to take the Fifth, meaning the Fifth Amendment, and they were forcing him to testify by taking away his Fifth Amendment right. The Constitution and treaties are the supreme law of the land. There is no policy that actually can overcome that. We are smart. There is a saying, you can be smart, you can be too smart, you can be not smart enough, and you can get outsmarted. That gentleman who won't leave me alone, because I started investigating some stuff, I found out his secrets and how dirty he was. And that is why he just can't leave me alone. But I'm an investigator by nature. I'm a Scorpio. I really have good intuition, but I can get it wrong. Real wrong. But when people show you what they want to show you, you see what you get. And then there's something in your knower that says, I don't know, but me, I'm always, I believe you are who you are until you show me that you're different than what I thought you were. And when you show me that, then I know. And I don't have to ask you why and wonder. I just move on. Because everybody has a right to be. However you choose to be, you have that right. Now, the common law says, if I don't harm you and you don't harm me, then no harm is done. What we don't realize is these articles and codes and statutes and acts, all of these things are just a codified version of the Christian black codes being enforced upon us every day. Yeah, his dirty laundry is out. It really is. And he's dirty. That's why he just can't leave me alone. It's just unbelievable. And those people just ought to get tired of hearing him talk about a big, old, fat, bald head, no-tooth woman. But they seem to laugh. And he only has about 30 people. He's talking about he don't see 10 in my chat. There's normally not 10 in my chat. I can't do nothing about that. Because I'm not going to change who I am. Now, I could start lying and joking and cussing and doing what they do and act like I don't care, but I'm not that person. So I could never do those things. So nobody would probably never come, but the few that come. And they come faithful every week. So I do it for them. Because they have children. They have grandchildren. And they want them to survive. They want to teach them something different. They want to teach them truth. They want to teach them when you're approached by an officer, say less. If you're in a vehicle, give them your name. You can't give them a fake name. In no state. But all that chit-chat and extra conversation, no. You don't have to tell them where you're coming from. That's none of their business or where you're going. None of that has to do with the stop. And you can't ask them, are you being detained? And you can't be afraid to do the right thing because we've had too many people unalived for doing the right thing. So it's no right or no wrong way. Just be an adult. And what you have to do is just make sure that you're talking in an intelligent tone. You have to circle up your emotions, your passion. Square up your conduct and speak in an intelligent tone. Don't let all your windows down. They may say, let your window down. Leave it just cracked just enough on one side so that they can hear you and you can hear them. I am not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. These are things you can read, and these are things that I have read, and I'm suggesting to you that's what I would do. And you can research and read, and you see if that's what you want to do. Let me say it like that, because next thing I know, they'll be saying I'm practicing. I don't practice, but I read very well. I had to in my job. And I did it before I ever got a job, because I've been fighting on jobs all my life. I'm not one of those people who they mistreat and just talk about it with the people that, on break and on lunch. I talk about it with a pen and a paper. I'm about it. You're going to have to see me. And that's just what that is. Now, I can't say if I'm going to win, if I'm going to lose, or if I'm going to draw. I don't care about that. I'm going for the win. I can tell you that. But since I don't control the outcome, however it goes is how it goes. But do know that I'm going to be going for the win. That's what I'm going for. Documentation means everything. And these people on here, they come in your chats, or they may not never say anything, but if you say anything in somebody else's chat, they snapping pictures and sending them back to people who, chat you be in frequently. And then they talk about how you move around all of these. Ain't this America and aren't we grown? I don't understand it. I really don't care where other people go. But that's just one woman's opinion. And I don't hold everybody to my standard. You do it how you do it. I do it how I do it. But I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot. I learned quite a bit from Uncle Suge. He taught me the best way to not enter into beats and stuff like that on YouTube is just, let it go. These people just keep trying to make you be a part of something. But you don't have to answer to it. Hey, Osun, how you doing? Good to see you. Osun has a great show. She talks about things that happen throughout the world. She talks about the trafficking and the abuse of women and children in other countries. You guys should check her out. I was going to ask you, could you drop your link, but let me see if I can pull it up. I mean, really, y'all should really check her information out. That's if you're interested, in humanity. You may not be able to do a thing about it, but you could look, listen, or you may know somebody that's interested in something like that and pass the word along. We don't ask people to do anything that they don't want to do. But she talks on some deep subjects, and she has a couple of channels because, of course, certain things we talk about, they don't want us to talk about. And seems like everything positive is kind of get thrown along the wayside. But you got to stay positive anyway. And this is their platform, and they can run it however they choose. They let us get up here, and so as long as they let us get up here and say what they let us say, whatever they let us say, then that's what we're going to say until we can't say it anymore. That's what we thought it was all about, really, is getting up here, spreading knowledge to our people. And boy, she covers some heavy subjects for real, though. You're so welcome. I got to tell you my story about thanks. Nobody really knows this until I see it. But the word thanks, I really just hate hearing thanks by itself. And the reason I hate hearing thanks by itself, like I said, I'm 65. So I'm a little older than most. But I worked on a job where I was the only chocolate drop in the department. And we would come to work, and they were cordial and, was pretending to be nice or whatever. And I noticed every time they said thank you, they would say thank you to each other. But when they say it to me, it was just thanks. And I hate that word, without you. Because I felt like they were trying to diminish who I was as a person. Now, the person that say thanks to me that don't know me have no clue that this is going on in my mind. But I always share that story when I see it, because I don't want to, you know how they say things trigger us? I don't want to snap, crackle, and pop, and you don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Is it on your channel now? People don't want the truth. They don't want the truth. They don't want to hear what's really going on in the world and the atrocities that You know, they really don't. They really don't. They don't care. You know, you think people care, and they say they care, and perhaps they do to the level that they care, because everybody have their own level. But I just don't believe we would be in the condition that we're in. I saw a thing on Instagram, and this man was talking about, I don't think it has music. Let me see. One moment. Let me see. Okay, one moment, y'all. Let's see if we can hear what he has to say. I thought this was pretty interesting. The night I decided I wasn't going to show any videos because the way my internet was working. And it was really, really, really bothering me. So I just decided I'm not going to even, I'm not going to play any tonight because they were chopping up so bad on the last one. And I'm going to just I'm going to start putting out my shorts and putting out the IG. I don't see where my video has come in. And I know I sent it. Okay, maybe I opened it up and didn't know it. Let me send it to myself again. And I've gotten some new subscribers, and I appreciate that. I don't know how long you'll be here, but I'm just kind of not like the norm. I kind of like just do my own thing, and I try to wake my people up and, assist them in ways that they can't imagine. That's my desire. I'd like to see our sons not sitting in the position where those young men are, and our daughters not being harassed. I would like to see us come back to family. Thank you, Osun. Thank you so much. I'll be trying to remember how to say your name like Sky used to say it. I hope she's doing well. She's such a brilliant young lady. I'm trying to see if it's going to open up. It ain't like it doesn't want to open. On the computer, it doesn't want to open. And I don't think I can Oh, maybe it'll do the same way. Let's try this, y'all. Tell me if y'all can hear this. Let me do the... Did y'all hear that or y'all didn't hear nothing? Did y'all hear him talking? Yeah, we really do need unique channels. Hey, Asatar. Asatar, your friend came over here. Lord, he is just grafted after something to talk about. He came in here about four, maybe 3 to 4 times. Okay, y'all didn't hear it. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to play it because it's on the phone. And, okay. Yes, on the phone. And for some reason, the Instagram ain't opening on my computer. It opens on the phone, but it won't open on my computer. Oh, you know what? Okay, y'all give me 1 second. I know what I can do. I do know how to do something. Hold on. Okay, y'all. I think I got it. Let me send it to myself. I had to record it so I can let y'all hear it because I want y'all to hear this. All right, now y'all should be able to hear it. So what do y'all think about that? Did y'all hear it? Oh, y'all couldn't hear it? Good Lord of mercy. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Oh, yeah, you can share it. Send me an email. Do you want to come up? Assume, do you want to come up? Y'all hold on for me.
Another generation of Africans in America.
Yeah, I don't feel too bad when I mess up because I be in there looking at people with big channels with a lot of people and they be messing up too. So I chalk it all up to us just being human and not knowing what you're doing. But it's all good. I appreciate y'all for tolerating my ignorance. Okay, let's see here. Did it come to the inbox? Let me see. Let's try this. And let me try to send. Now, y'all ain't mind. I don't even see it in here. Now I just seen the other one. But I don't see the D I just did. Is somebody trying to tell us something? They just don't want us to see this. But I want us to see it. I see G, but where is D? I thought I sent it and said D. Let me look on here. Okay, I don't even see it here. Let me see if I sent it to my other one. Nope. Okay. I'm gonna try this one last time, y'all. I'm gonna try this one last time to see if I'm gonna get it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see something. Oh, maybe I can't hear it there. Okay. I can just hear my son right now talking about us old folks need to stay off this. Oh Lord, I could just hear it. Lord have mercy, that's all he's saying. I can hear him now. Okay, go back. Well, I'm way down. Let me go up here. Okay, let's try this one. Let's see if we can hear this one. That's my desire. Okay, we gonna try it, y'all.
The black baby boomers will be the first generation of Africans in America to raise another generation of Africans in America that will not do better than them. So in the 400-year history of our people, Mr. Hill, in this country, we are the only generation to raise another generation that will be worse off. We collectively need our asses kicked. And you can count me out of that. I will not contribute to that egregious statistic. We're not poor, we're just broke. Our money goes in one direction, away from us, and we're some of America's most conspicuous consumers. We are a $1.1 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world. But again, our money goes in one direction, away from us, and we're some of America's most conspicuous consumers. And we will not stop buying from people who will not support us. We are addicted to consumption. We do not produce anything that we buy, and we do not sell anything that we purchase. We just consume.
So what do y'all think about that? And we are the baby boomers. So we failed our children and our grandchildren tremendously. And it wasn't all our fault. You know, a lot of people don't like Dr. Umar, but I don't have anything to do with him and his school. I've given money to Dr. Umar like I have all these other YouTubers. I believe he has a desire in his heart to do it. I don't think one person can do what he wants to do. But what I do know is that he saved children every day. I do know that he teach parents about their children. But one of the things that I know that he talks about is something that I know. And I just want to kind of share this with you guys. And I was talking to my little brother, and I was just sharing some stuff with him that, you know, I learned from Dr. Umar. And he did it in 10-year spans. And of course, you could do your own research. And what I was sharing with my little brother is, like I told him, Dr. Umar, he may never open the school, but he is still educating if people would listen to the message. Take what you can use and throw the other away. In 1954, we were thriving as a people, great families, and economy. So what did old Master do? Broke up our families. See, they were looking at our economical base. We were thinking that we want to be integrated and they wanted us to join them. No, they wanted those dollars we were spending. Remember, we had homes, stores, businesses, cars, car dealerships. We had it all. They gave us the 1964 Civil Rights Act with no rights. In 1968, then Senator Lyndon Baines Johnson of Texas met with all the black preachers and told Dr. Martin Luther King that if you can give us your vote, we will choose your leaders, but we will give you the 501c3 automatic bona fide church exempt taxation. So if you're a bona fide church, and I don't know if y'all know this or not, most small churches, when they start out, they have to be under a big church. Just like, you know, when you want to be a doctor, you got an intern, things of that nature. Well, they have to work up under the auspices of the big church, and then they have to go through the process of getting their own church sanctioned. And they have to go through a lot of different seminars and questions and meetings, and then they get approved to go on their own. Once you become a bona fide church, then you don't need an IRS letter of a 501c3 like a nonprofit organization does. You're automatically one by way of 1968. So now that's just in the 10-year span. Now we're going to go from 64 to 1974. 1974, and remember, we're doing a 10-year span, so you can give any time during those 10 years. They took away the trades out of the schools, so we could no longer earn our own money with our hands, such as builders, carpenters, electricians, farmers, mechanics, painters, plumbers, welders. They shut down the factories and shipped them all out overseas. Then they villainized us Asiatic women by giving us welfare. And they took the men out of our homes. Now, they took the men out of our homes, but the women were still having children. Therefore, they said that we had to be cheating and lying. And, you know, I don't know if y'all remember these times, but they used to come into the women's houses and check to see if any men clothes was there, or if a man was there. And if so, then she got kicked off welfare. In 1984, They introduced crack cocaine to our communities. That was the drug that, really did us the most damage. There had always been illicit drug use, but the crack cocaine really did it. 1994, Senator Joe Biden and Congress negotiated and passed the mandatory minimums. 3 strikes, you're out. Hillary called our children super predators, and Biden called our children roaches. He didn't want his children going to school with. And in 1996, then President Bill Clinton signed the omnibus bill into law. And these are the things that was there. So that's when we went with the mass incarceration. 2004, fighting 2 wars on lies. And now they say they're lies. Now, before we couldn't even call a president a lie. But now they're openly admitting on weapons of mass destruction. And then we got this new man. He was a senator who just miraculously appeared out of nowhere. He did the speech at the DNC by the name of Barack Hussein Obama. 2014, we got Barack, I think it was 12, as the president. But we doing 10-year spans. So from 2004 to 2014, we had now marriages are no longer between a man and a woman. You can choose what you identify as. And Africa was inundated with U.S. Armed Forces bases. All but 2 countries. It's called AFRICOM. You can look it up. And here we are in 2024. Digital existence. Another serious pandemic is on the horizon. AI rules, and people act like damn fools. Michael Jackson told us they don't really care about us. Saddest part, we're trained so good, we don't either. I say the new Jim Crow is now named Jerome and Keisha Crow. Look just like you and I. And they want it all for themselves. And he said that Biden also gave us the House Negro Clarence Thomas. And I said, Clarence Thomas is not a House Negro to me. More like Uncle Tom, who fought for his people in ways that they couldn't see. So they denied and destroyed the very help that they had. He has to do whatever it takes not to be unalived, like Anton Scalia. I don't think he is the greatest person, but he is the best we have. And, everybody have their opinion on everything and everybody. But what I would suggest to anybody is to just start doing some research and some reading. This is one thing I know. Anytime the system start attacking one person, you better believe, Houston, we have a problem. And again, he's in a system where he was the second of his kind that got an opportunity to sit in that seat. So you can imagine the pressure, 8 against 1, stacked deck. But see, they don't go by what we go by. They don't go by color, because they know it's only one race and it's a human race. And they understand how it works. And if I could ever get my people to understand one thing, it doesn't matter if you're a lefty or a righty, a Republican or a Democrat. You're attached to one bird. So you're really the same, because you can't do One can't do nothing without the other. They need each other. A lot of this stuff, if you listen to how they talk to each other, they call themselves actors. And that's just what it feels like down in Atlanta. These people are acting. These men are fighting for their lives. But these people that are in the position to do the right thing are acting. And it's like everybody is auditioning for the next YouTube channel. And people say you're pocket watching. No, it has nothing to do with that. Although I see. So yeah, I can see. And this was supposed to be an opportunity for everybody that got on here. But everybody don't get the same opportunity. And it's not because we don't get the same people, because we do. That's why the bigger people start hating on the little, because they see their people giving to other people, and then they start causing confusion and division. But people should be free. You know, we keep talking about these constitutional rights and stuff that only work with the European. We don't believe that with ourselves. We can deny each other free speech and the right to be and the right to exist. We can do that and it's okay. No, that's not okay. Injustice to one of us is injustice to all of us. And if we don't know that, we're in trouble. We heard what he said. We're just consuming. And our children are going to be so far behind. It is unbelievable. I'm not going to stay on here 3 hours, 5 hours tonight. And I'm, like I said, wasn't going to play any videos because I'm very disappointed in my Ethernet. And I haven't had an opportunity to talk to my provider to see if it's something else I need to do or whatever. Because I thought buying that little system would allow me the opportunity to play videos without them buffering. So, and the guy I like to look at a lot, his name is Posted, and he does E-band films. And I think he came from whatever they used to call them rooms, Clubhouse. But he's awesome. I mean, he's fantastic. Sometimes I can't read him, but it's okay because he's on point with that case. He's definitely on point. He has street sense. He's an engineer with the music, so he's a producer. He has excellent beats, a hell of a voice. He could read very well. When he reads, sometimes it sounds like I'm listening to my cousin because that's what she does for a living, and she's just awesome. But he's a great reader. He's a critical thinker. But he's called this case before a lot of this stuff has happened weeks ago. Ever since I've been looking at him. And he's awesome. And he has way more people than me, but he doesn't have the people that he should have. That I see people with these hundreds of thousands and stuff. But what I had to tell myself, you know, people really don't want to know truth. They really don't. And then they pretend they just come here for entertainment while their lives are falling apart. The children don't like them. The spouse is cheating on them. And that's not everybody. But it's a lot of bodies. And there's nothing wrong with coming to laugh. But YouTube offers so much more. It offers so much. It's unbelievable. Yes. So, I'm just going to keep sounding the alarm. L.A. Pink is a lady who is awesome. She has an organization called Street Groomers. And she fight every day for the people in Atlanta. And I want you to know that the sheriff actually filed a TPO against her, a citizen. She said trying to keep her from exercising her free speech because she speak against them every time they have a city council meeting, a commissioner's meeting. You best believe that she and her husband work side by side, and others in their organization is there. They support candidates. They have candidates that one successfully ran against that lady Natalie Hall, who cost the city $1.2 million for harassing this young man, and she doesn't have any charges against her. They have people languishing in jail in Fulton County that's been there for 2 years, some as high as 5, and have never been indicted. Y'all, these are atrocities. This is not supposed to happen in this country. This is like third world. And they're in a jail where the cells do not lock. The women are not safe. They've had several unalivings this year. I did a story on a young man. I didn't know his family was from DeSoto, Texas. He was the second casualty in April. And I'm sure, like I said, it's happening all over, because I'm going to do a story on the detention centers. I just found out juvenile here in Dallas, Texas. They sound just like Fulton County Jail. So it's enough going on in our own cities if we want to get involved. But right now, the spotlight is on Fulton County. And thanks and the good old boys that put her up to it. Thanks to them, we're able to see how it really goes. See, most of the time you only see this because your loved one is there and you're there supporting, and probably the only one there in the family, because we don't even show up as family members. Regina said, you got me thinking about all sorts of things right now. Politics and the different voices of YouTube, etc. So I would just sit over here and continue listening. I love Regina. Yeah, it's really something, y'all. We really got to think about this stuff. I can only say so much, but I'm willing to say whatever I need to say here on this platform that they will allow me to say. You know, I got to do it. This is all I know. It's helping other people. Hey, Michael, good to see you. It's all I know. And I care about our sons because I have a son. And I was truly blessed to have my son. I did not know until after I gave birth to him that I was born with a 3rd-degree heart block. And I found out I could have passed away at childbirth. So that's the only child that I had. We don't know our conditions because we don't have health insurance if our parents don't qualify for Medicaid and don't have government jobs. And when I was growing up, my mom was a maid. They didn't give her insurance. They paid her like $25 a day. And she cleaned in 2-story mansions. We came from humble beginnings. And we're all pretty successful in our careers. Phyllis, the first one of my siblings to graduate with a 4-year college degree. Several of us started out going to school. I never wanted to go. I just went because my daddy was the type of daddy, you either gonna get a job, go to school, or get out, and I wasn't moving. So I started out in school, and then I found me a job. And I've worked up until I was 52 and retired on disability. But Phyllis, as soon as she got her 4-year degree, she has 3 degrees, by the way, 2 associates and a business, and all in education. Soon as she got her 4-year degree, some young male pulled her out of a chair and tore her rotator cuff. And then the school was so ornery. They said, oh yeah, it might be torn, but it didn't happen in that incident. I never. And I couldn't accept that. And neither could she. She went to work every day. I'm trying to figure out. One day she was getting out of here. And I'm like, it was like 2 months later, and her shoulder down and her hand swole. And I'm like, girl, why are you going to work? They won't let me out. Shit, who cares? I just have a question for you. If you were in a coma, would you be going to work? Yeah, this don't make sense. I see the pain. She didn't even like going to the school. She was really afraid. This was a big 14-year-old boy with a 62-year-old woman sitting in a chair, yanking her lanyard. It's a joke to people, but it's real life for her. And it's other people in the school system that's getting mistreated just like this. And I'm here to tell you, you got to keep fighting. Because I told her if she was willing to fight, I would do her research. She had to do her own speaking. And by George, we got it together. And we did it. We did it. And this man has fought us for 6.5 years. And everybody want to know, y'all still got y'all, what your sister-in-law, what's happening? It's not a lawsuit. It's a workers' compensation case. Regina said, let me say this. A lot of things calls upon discernment. It also involves an individual's free will and their life experiences, including their education and level of mentality. We only control self. You're so right about it. 7 long years until, and still in the game. Going up against a man who's been practicing for 35 years and apparently practicing dirty. And that's what hurts my heart so about these people in Atlanta. We say when we get a chance to be in these positions, we're going to make life different for our people. And unfortunately, we're not doing that. Matter of fact, we're worse. You know how we used to talk about how the women on TV didn't look like us, so our little girls don't have anything to look up to? But now look at who they're looking up to. The women that look like them hate men. Let them tell it. They dress all manner of ways. They say they're professional. They date married men in the open as if it's not anything. Dare you to say something about it. It is unbelievable. We have the most beautiful physiques in the world. And here we are going to other countries talking about we want a Brazilian butt lift. What kind of sense does that make? I mean, somebody just help me out. You know, we got laughed at and talked about for our big lips and our noses. And here now we're going shooting collagen in our lips and our noses. We have some of the most beautiful eyes you could ever see. Now we got a rainbow coalition of color for our eyes. It's a different color every day. Hair, awesome. Yeah, it is by design. But at what point are more of us going to say no more? We know who controls the media. Thurston White loved to quote, "He who controls the media controls the images." That's true. But then he who controls the literature controls the mind. That's true. So we could do all kind of quotes, and they're true. We see evidence of that. And everybody don't have to get it, because everybody's not going to get it. Remember, they taught you that in church. Everybody ain't going to heaven, because everybody don't want it. I don't know what's considered weak, because I've seen some strong fall. I've seen it. Been in the room with it. Sit at the table with it. I've seen it happen. And they were doing everything we thought that you're supposed to be doing. You say this system don't care who you are. You have to care who you are. It comes from inside of you. Nowhere else. And you've got to not be afraid. And if you're afraid, you got to feel the fear and do it anyway. There are many a nights I sat here crying, not knowing what I'm doing. Phyllis crying, not knowing nothing. But she did know how to speak. That's something she knew how to do. We were blessed in that respect, and I would say blessed, but you know my word is blessed. But because I've said blessed my whole life, you might hear me say some things. Because I still love every gospel song I ever loved before I came into the knowledge of my truth. I love them same songs, and I listen to them sometimes. Be very cautious. Weak does not mean physically. I understand. And I ain't talking about physical either. And are the most allegedly educated. Now that either. Weak also means of mind and spirit. And I'm talking about some strong ones. I've seen them. I know exactly what you're talking about. I lived a little bit. Met a few people. And was able to sit in any room in any conversation, and half the time I don't know what the hell going on. But I was a reader. I'm a dreamer. I have so many ideas, it's not even funny. Phyllis used to say she got all them ideas and ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna encourage somebody else to do. See, because I know my limitations, and that's one thing my daddy taught us, to know yourself. And when you know yourself, you know yourself. And you don't have to put yourself through a lot of things you see people go through, trying to find themselves. And you got to go through some things in life. Some people, not so much. Some of us, more than our fair share, we think. But anything that happens, it either is going to make you better or it's going to make you worse. That choice is yours, which one it makes you. Michael said, we have been systemically conditioned to normalize those in power, insecurities. You are so true, Michael. So true. I read a little bit from Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, and that's exactly what we started off talking about. And we are so indoctrinated. It's very, very hard. You know, because most people, when you start awakening and you start trying to share, most people quit talking to you because they really don't want to hear what you're talking about. But what I understand is everybody is not going to get it. And it's okay if that's what you want. You have a right not to want it. You have a right to be in the condition you're in if that's what you choose. But what you're going to have to eventually learn is that you are choosing. See, we don't control nothing but ourselves, but you're choosing to volunteer for a lot of things that you think that you have to adhere to. Now, what gets me is these people that commit crimes and then tell me I don't have to listen to your laws. That ain't true. That is not true. And don't let anybody tell you can do wrong and talk about you don't have to listen to nobody. Because it's putting all of us to know right from wrong. Unless you don't have the capacity to decipher. But I'm talking about anybody with common, not so common, with a normal functioning, whatever normal is, brain, that don't have any deformities of brain. You know right from wrong. And you have to choose. It's unfortunate. But we can't keep making excuses. And then there's so much information out here that you could get lost in information. That's why you have to get with yourself and go inside of yourself and go on your journey. If you seek truth and knowledge, you'll find it. I didn't say go join some group, trade one for another, denounce this one while you claiming something else. No, you don't have to do all of that. Go inside yourself. You know what doesn't feel right to you? It's so much we do not know. So much we were not taught. But it is written for us to know. We just got to seek it. And that's up to the individual if you choose to seek knowledge or not. It is there. It is there. I want to thank everybody for staying with me tonight, listening to me. I just been feeling kind of bad about all of this stuff that's going on and how the people are just having fun and making money. And I mean, you know, it's like it's nothing. And it just saddens me, that's all. Thank you, Assume, for coming back. I hope everybody remembered to hit the like button. And I really appreciate you guys for participating in the chat, because engagement, likes, comments, YouTube, that's what their algorithms are about. Doesn't matter the number. Although we all would love to have numbers. But I tell you, if I get one person that listens to me, and hear anything I say and it helps them in any way, I've done my part for that day. And like I said, I'm going to go and just pick out lines and put out little posts on Instagram and make little shorts. I even have a system that I can put the video in and make shorts, but people wasn't really looking at those shorts. And that's okay. I'm just going to start picking out lines and doing my thing. And however it happens, it happens. I know I don't have a lot of time to give as far as sitting here. This is very draining for me, believe it or not. And all I'm doing is sitting here talking, and I love sitting here talking. And as long as you guys will stay, you know I'll talk. And you guys have really, really, really obliged me. I mean, y'all will stay for as long as I say something, and I am humbled by that. I feel so very special with this channel. I came on here with 3 people. I've even gotten some new subscribers. And I know that the numbers, they say, everybody is talking about it, so it's not just happening to me. YouTube play with your numbers. I don't care about any of that anymore. Does not matter. None of that matters anymore. What matters is that I can say something to help somebody. I can't get out there and march like L.A. Pink, but she does it faithfully. She and her husband and their organization. I mean, she is out there every morning, and she has such a beautiful countenance. I don't know these people, but I just know what she showed me. She loves her Lord and Savior, and she loves the people. And she's out there fighting for the people. And her work is evident. And they're a big organization, and they do a lot of beautiful things for people in Atlanta and the surrounding counties, not just Fulton, but the surrounding counties. And it's awesome. It's just like Phyllis. She worked with the senior citizens in the community. She does a lot of work. I don't even know where she gets the strength and the energy from. But she is forever going to some community center or some community event, trying to let people know that we have so many programs for the seniors that many of us know nothing about. And she's always trying to find ways of how she can let the people know. You know, because some of these seniors live alone and they don't have social media. And they don't know how to work a computer. There are a lot of seniors that do. And I'm happy for those seniors. But there are a lot of seniors that do not. Regina said, the bottom line is your free will to choose. Once chosen, you have made your choice. It all starts with you, learning you, loving you. It may take some longer to get there, but invest in you first. That's absolutely beautifully said. And like you said, no room for the stupidity and foolishness. Let's put that up there because that's absolutely beautiful and worth seeing. Thank you, Osum. She said this was a calm build. Yep, but it is the message. Micah said, we're always being told as people what we can't do when we know we once had a black street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's merely an example of what we can be as a people. Not only that, We had them all over. And just in our neighborhoods alone, the corner stores, they were not foreigners. They was Mr. Brown and Mr. Lee and Mr. Wilson and Mr. Washington. They owned the washaterias. They owned the car washes. They owned the mechanic shops, the eateries that we had in the community, the barbecue joints, the TV shop, the dress boutique. We owned it all. We even had our own hospitals in our communities. Service stations, my uncle had 2. And he had spent much of my life in prison. And he came home and changed his life and owned 2. Not off-brand, but FINA service stations. Phyllis says, stand up for what you believe in. Let your work speak for you. And that's so true. Regina said, that's great, Ed Phyllis. Spreading the work to help. If they have a computer, they are like me. Can I use it? I know what you meant, Michael. Same thing. We had one. Thank you for participating, because that's so true. You know, it's just good to see men participating in anything positive, because the system has us believing the war is between our men and our women, but it's really not. And I don't know how we can get to a point where we can truly understand that we're not each other's enemies. We need each other to survive and to thrive. We need each other, and we need to see who we are. A lot of the younger guys I'm very proud of, because they're kind of getting away from what they've been taught and what they're seeing. They kind of don't like the half dressing, and I've heard a lot of people talk about that BET award, said it was awful. I only look at YouTube, so I don't know. I didn't get to see it, but they said they had all these women and they were doing all kind of things, and they were half dressed, and everybody was see-through and their behinds were out. It was just horrible. Regina said, for your information, there were many Black Wall Streets and Black thriving communities in America, U.S. Many, if not most, have been erased from history. Many things of Black Asiatic people have been erased. So very true. And they're still using the number 2 pencil eraser. And just imagine, boy, Regina, that's cold-blooded what you just said. Because you just made the light go off in my head. Now, we know that's true, and that's happening. We know that to be true. Think about the first RICO case that Fonnie Willis did. Sent Black educators to prison. 6 of them just resolved their case last week before last, June 25th. They all took plea deals. These people been fighting all this time 11 years proclaiming their innocence. But see, these people, y'all may not believe me and I may not be right, but these people are doing this stuff, funneling all of these millions that they don't have to answer to anybody for. This is unbelievable, but it's true. True story. Now, I don't know the details, but we can see the results. They were really willing to prosecute those people if they had not confessed, and then they made them apologize. Unbelievable. A couple of them went to prison. Yeah, that Project 25 stuff, that may be true. But, you know, they've been Project 25 in us our whole life, so I don't know why we let them tell us one thing. And they do this always at election time. They ain't gonna never, ever, ever do anything for us. They took our place. So when you steal somebody's identity, do you give it back? No. They are us. They took our place. And we won't learn the truth and take it back. And they did it with intellect. That's how we gonna have to do it. We're no match for the weapons that they have. We're no match. We talking about Glocks, they talking about laser beams. We gotta get real. That little old Project 25 stuff, that's the same policy they've been using against us since 1201. They just have different names. And they change with the period. But it's the same agenda. The agenda never changed. And that's to keep us all asleep. Because if we ever wake up, they know their time is up. And the world ain't waiting on them. That's why they have to tell us all these spooky stories and scare us. Fonnie Willis knew in her position as a district attorney in the state of Fulton County, Georgia, decided to cement her position. She prosecuted Atlanta teachers and administrators with RICO for cheating. She did that. And the people that were prosecuted wasn't the ones who actually did the supposed cheating. They were mainly the, what you call them people? Administrators. That's who they were mainly. The administrators. Some of the teachers, their children, didn't even qualify for the program that they claimed that they were cheating in. But they arrested them and charged them as felons. All of them now are convicted felons. One moment, please. All right. Yeah, but she was the new district attorney, and she was the assistant ADA that led the charge. And she saw what was happening, how it happened, and she wanted that for herself. Because, you know, as they say in those streets, the very man that she beat down like a dog, talking about his behavior, she was one of the women that he was with. And then if you look at the one that she looks up to, And what she did to San Francisco and the men out there. And what they said she did with Brown. So, I mean, you know, par for the course seems like. It's really sad what they have done to the matriarchy, womanhood. It's really sad. And again, as Regina said a moment ago, it's a choice. It's a choice. So choose you. If you must choose, choose you. Because you're worth it. I promise you, you are. You are worth it. Yeah, well, with the education system we have, Michael, they need to. So they can start teaching us for real. Or we can start teaching ourselves. You know, it's so much they don't teach us. And that they teach us, we can't use. Do you know most of us are the poorest people in the community, and we're afraid, honestly afraid to fill out a 1040 EZ form, and that's the easiest form that you can fill out. All you have to do is just read the line and do exactly what it says. But if we were taught that before we start earning, since they're making us pay taxes, that would really help. If we understood the concept of banking and how to use credit cards. We're not taught those things. But there is a science to it. That might be a good conversation for y'all. I could have it with y'all if y'all want to have it. But I don't know no education system we have. We're not taught anything. We're trained. And now they're just training us to pass tests. I don't know. And if you can't read, well, we'll just say that you have a learning disability and put you on medication, and you can take the test on the computer. And somebody will talk to you and tell you. But we're going to throw away your whole life because I didn't teach you how to read. I just taught you how to search for alphabets or numbers to pass a test. I didn't teach you connotative linguistics. I taught you denotative. I didn't teach you etymology, morphology, phrenology. I didn't teach you any of that. You didn't need to know that because you know what? You can't read. You can't comprehend this stuff. I didn't teach you economics. You can't comprehend this stuff. Anatomy, why would I teach you about your body? Why would I teach you about your blood type? Why would I teach you about nature when I'm trying to destroy you every day? The smartest of our children, if put up with the right children, seem dumber than those that never learned. I believe it. You know, they had poll tax, so I can believe they mandating the age on vote. They're doing everything we keep allowing them to do. They're going to do it. Because we keep believing we got to go along with this stuff. Many people don't believe we played a part in the Constitution. When we really did. When we really understand what's really going on. And people took oaths to their life to not teach us the truth. And it has worked. And it's still working. But again, if you seek, you should find. It's written. You know, we're the only group of people in the world that can't be honestly U.S. citizens. Many people don't know that, but we U.S. citizens. And then they'll say, well, you know, that's misinformation. No, it's history. You can read it. It's not misinformation. You can go to the Library of Congress. You can go read House Joint Resolution 192 and see that there is no money. It's just so much. And I swear, I don't know how those Lady Pink and all of those that do what they do advocate. But I guess they don't think about the people not doing. They just do what they have to do. And I guess that's the only way you can get anything done. You can't worry about who's going to join in and who's going to help. You just got to do your part. Whatever it is. Michael, it's really good to see you. But it is almost 3 hours and I didn't know that we were going to go this long. But I think I'm going to get ready to leave the Tiger's Den. I greatly appreciate everybody and hopefully I'll know something better about my, Ethernet. I don't really know anything about the computer. I'm trying my best to learn. It's very hard because I'm not interested in the computer. I don't like it. But I do know that it has to be a part of my life if I'm going to be doing what I do. I don't have to have a Hollywood production, but I would like to have nice, easy way you pull up a video and stuff like that. I would just want that for myself. So I definitely would want it for you guys to make it easier to follow. Because it's hard when the video is buffering and it take me forever to find the spot, and I'll be done put all the videos up I'm gonna show and I hit the wrong button. Now they all gone. I have to find them again. So it's a learning experience. My cousin told me when I first started this, she said, this is the real job. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to get on here and talk. But I told her, I see what she means. Because you want to give a good product. The best that you can. You don't have to break the bank, but you certainly want to do the best that you can. And that's what I strive to do. So I want to thank everybody for coming. And thank you all for staying with me as you always do. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And I hope to see you Wednesday. Sometimes I lose train of the days. I don't know what day is what. But I hope to see you guys Wednesday, 8:30. Same Tiger time, same Tiger station. Goodbye. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us who we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. So I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I failed, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of takes you to a lonely place, find yourself in love. In a mother's love, you will find everything. Everything's alright. To a mother's love, you are bound. You can rest on sacred ground. In a mother's love, you are free to dream, because she sees what you can be. In a mother's love, you see the sun, enough for two, but you're one. In a mother's love, you can feel something hurts, you can heal. Yes, a mother's love is real. You grow because she knows to let you go. Yeah, mama. Mama, mama, mama. Mother's love. Mother's love. Yeah. All right. A mother's love. And a mother's love never lies. She believes that you can fly with all of her might. A mother's love. Yay, mama. Did you know that mental health is a family affair? It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, one child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mama loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good to mom. Blood thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Oh, a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave because your heart is there. But you can't stay because you've been somewhere else. You can't cry because you look broke down, but you're crying anyway because you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. Well, it's a family affair. Hey, hey, hey.